When life gets hard, the first thing to collapse is not your body. It is your mind, because the mind is where every battle begins. When you face pressure, pain, and uncertainty, your thoughts start to turn against you. They whisper that it is pointless. They tell you that it is over. And if you listen long enough, you begin to believe them. That is why mental discipline matters most in tough times. It is not about ignoring reality. It is about mastering your reaction to it. Because pain will visit everyone, but surrender is a choice. The truth is this: you cannot control the storm, but you can control the voice inside your head, and that voice will decide whether you break or rise. When your mind says, "I cannot," discipline says, "I will." When fear says, "It is too late," discipline says, "It is not over yet." If you want to rise above chaos, you must first train the voice within. Because the strongest muscle in your body is not your arms or your legs, it is your mind. Let us begin with Viktor Frankl. He was a psychiatrist who survived the concentration camps during the Second World War. He lost his family, his freedom, and nearly everything he loved. Inside that darkness, he discovered one stubborn freedom that no one could take away. He could not control events, but he could choose the meaning he gave to them. Frankl taught that the last human freedom is the freedom to choose one's attitude. While many surrendered to despair, he chose purpose and responsibility. That inner choice became his path to survival. Now think about Serena Williams. From the public courts of Compton to the center court at Wimbledon, the pressure around her was relentless. Critics doubted, injuries mounted, defeats stung. Serena learned to quiet the noise and master her focus. When her body wanted to fold, her mind told it to stand tall. That is mental discipline in motion. Consider David Goggins. He once felt lost and trapped in a body and life he did not recognize. He decided to rebuild himself with honesty and uncompromising discipline. He ran through pain and studied through exhaustion. He trained his mind to obey purpose rather than mood. Over time, the voice that said stop became the voice that said keep going. Each of these people faced conditions that could have broken them. Their greatest victories did not begin with perfect circumstances. They began with a trained mind that refused to surrender. You cannot command the storm, but you can command your response. You can build a mind that stays calm in chaos and faithful to purpose. That is the foundation of strength in hard times. When everything around you feels out of control, discipline begins inside your mind. You do not need the world to calm down. You need to master your inner world first. The disciplined mind is not the one that avoids fear. It is the one that walks through fear and keeps moving forward. It learns to act based on purpose, not emotion. You will never stop the waves of chaos, but you can learn to surf them. Each moment of pressure is a chance to practice control. Each setback is a lesson in strength. When the mind starts to scream, "I cannot," you breathe and whisper, "I will." That small act is not weakness, it is mastery. Discipline is the quiet courage to continue when comfort disappears. Strong minds are not born from ease. They are built in struggle, shaped in silence, and tested in pain. What breaks others can build you if you decide it will. The goal is not to feel strong every day. The goal is to stay committed even when you feel weak. Because discipline is not emotion, it is decision. There was a woman named Rosa from Texas. She was a nurse who worked through the worst nights of the pandemic. Every day she saw fear in the eyes of others, yet she had no choice but to stay calm. There were nights when she cried in the hospital bathroom, whispering that she could not do it anymore. But each morning she wiped her tears, straightened her back, and walked back into the chaos. That was discipline in its purest form. She could not control the sickness, the loss, or the exhaustion. But she could control her focus, her breath, and the tone of her voice. In the middle of fear, she chose composure. One day, a young patient held her hand and said, "You made me feel safe." In that moment, Rosa realized that mental strength is not about being fearless. It is about standing firm when others collapse. Her story reminds us that greatness does not always look loud. Sometimes it looks like quiet steadiness in the middle of noise. The mind that stays disciplined under fire becomes the anchor for others who are drifting. And maybe that is what the world needs most right now. Not louder voices, not softer lives, but stronger minds that remain calm when everything else falls apart. Discipline of the mind is not a gift. It is a practice. You do not wait for it to appear. You build it every single day through small choices. Every morning you rise even when you feel tired, you are training your mind. Every time you choose patience over anger, you are strengthening your control. Every time you finish what you start, you are sharpening your will. You will not always win, but you must always return. That is what separates the strong from the broken. They fall, they doubt, they feel pain, yet they come back again and again. The truth is simple. You cannot lead your life if you cannot lead your thoughts. The mind is a wild horse. If you do not learn to guide it, it will run you off the cliff. When your thoughts become your servants, not your masters, you have already won half the battle, because nothing outside you can destroy the calm that lives within you. So keep training your focus, keep choosing your thoughts, keep commanding your inner voice, because when your mind obeys your purpose, no hardship can defeat you. Before you leave, share this message with someone who feels like losing control. Write in the comments what moment taught you real discipline. And subscribe to Undefeatable for daily reminders that strength begins within, and the mind you master today becomes the life you build tomorrow.